Did anybody else think that July just kind of like flew past us and all of a sudden we're in August? Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine. I am a beauty and reselling enthusiast, so those are the things I love to talk about on this channel. If that is something that you like to watch, please consider subscribing before you go. Today's video is going to be our monthly series of basically talking about all the products that I used the month prior and then picking out products that I'm going to use this month. This is my monthly Shop My Stash. So let's just get started. I always like to start off with the products that I used the month prior in the order that I use them. So first starts with skincare. And actually I used up a lot of my skincare products this month. So I'm super happy about that. First one being the Real Her something. It's rubbed off. I don't know, but this is like their setting spray. This one was okay. Again, there was nothing super great about it. I just used it as almost, a setting spray, not necessarily for the longevity of the makeup, but to kind of like make the makeup kind of cohesive, less powdery, just kind of soaks everything in and just makes it look really nice. I did not like the sprayer of this setting spray whatsoever, but I'm glad that it's done. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it. I think there are others on the market that are much better. So that one is out and done, and it will be in my empties video. If you're ever curious to know other products that I have finished up all the way to the end, I will link my playlist up in the corner for you so you can take a look at some of my reviews of products that I've used all the way up. So the setting spray that I'm going to use in replace of it, I've actually already started using this. This is the Laura Geller Spackle Mist Boost with Electrolytes. And I believe this is something that I received in one of my subscription boxes because I don't think I would have gone out and purchased this individually. Just setting spray is just one of those things that I don't know, I just kind of receive. There are very few setting sprays that I will go out and purchase myself. They've been like the Milani, was it the Outlast one, and then like the Milk Hydro Grip ones. Those are really kind of the only setting sprays that I've purchased myself. So this came in a subscription box. I also do unboxings of subscription boxes on this channel. I'll link that playlist up in the corner if you're interested. But this one actually has surprised me. And the first thing that surprised me is this mist is phenomenal. This is such a lightweight mister. It does not spray your face aggressively. It is so gentle and light, and it is beautiful. Because of that, you don't get these like globs of wet product on your face that you're like, gosh, I hope it doesn't, bring up the product that I just put on. It is just so nice. So what it is supposed to do, it says, need a boost. This refreshing mist provides a surge of electrolytes like magnesium, zinc, and copper to help strengthen and restore your complexion, all while locking in makeup. It is also enriched with grapeseed extract to stimulate collagen production and centella acetica extract for a burst of hydration. Each spritz also gives a protection veil against blue light pollution. So it's supposed to do lots of different things, and I don't know if it actually does all of those things, but it certainly has a nice spray, and I like the claims of it, so I will continue to use this for the month of August. So the moisturizer that I was using last month was the In Beauty Project Slushy Hyaluronic Acid and Bakuchiol Serum. This is supposed to deeply hydrate skin and improve the appearance of uneven texture. First of all, I love the packaging. I love these like airless little pumps because you get all of the product. You're not wasting any of the product. You get it all up. This is actually a really nice product. Another thing that I received in a subscription box, and I really did like it. I used it for my AM moisturizing routine. It was nice. It wasn't too thick or greasy, just kind of like a thin, almost like gel type of moisturizer, like a hybrid between a gel and a moisturizer. It was really nice. As far as like the Bakuchiol serum, so that is actually supposed to help kind of slough off dead skins. It's a gentle retinol alternative, basically. I don't know if I really noticed any of that, but it was a really nice moisturizer, something that I would consider repurchasing in the future. So if that tells you something, that it was pretty good. So what I replaced that one with, actually, I just realized I forgot one product. What I replaced the Morning AM moisturizer with was this BU Hyaluronic Acid Gel Moisturizer to help glow and hydrate. And then with this one's like a really interesting type of texture. So it is very jelly. gel-like when it comes out. And when you first put it on and, you know, kind of put it on with your fingers and whatnot, it has like a tacky kind of sticky texture. So it makes for a really nice primer as well, like a gripping primer, but you kind of have to use it quickly if you're going to put your makeup on. And to use the tackiness, you kind of have to put it on quickly because that does dissipate after a while. Like it kind of just sinks into your skin. This one, I wouldn't say is super moisturizing. Like it's nice. It's a lightweight like a lightweight gel basically to put on your skin that adds like a little bit of moisturizing, but it's not something that I would recommend for super dry folks. So I have combo oily skin, so this works well for me because I produce a lot of my own moisturization throughout the day. So I would not use this if you're dry, but again, it's nothing super wowing that I think I'm ready to go out and repurchase, but at this time, I'm going to use it up and finish it. So as far as my PM moisturizers, we kind of went through a few. So I did finish up my Oak Essentials Moisture Rich Balm. I've said this in past videos. This is like Crisco for your face. This is super, super slugging, like, if you will, that I would use at night because it would really sink into my skin at night and just wake up with really hydrated skin. Definitely not something I would use for the daytime, even if you are like the driest of the dry. I don't think this would work really well under makeup. Like it is kind of an oily mess. So save that for nighttime. Because I finished that one so quickly, I actually did get this in my one of my subscription boxes. This is the Biro Golden Carrot Overnight Relief Mask. This was actually really nice. This was a gel, like it was like a thicker gel. So it definitely did a really nice job moisturizing, but it wasn't super thick and kind of, let's be honest, I want to say it's kind of gross and messy and like greasy, but it did a really good job of moisturizing my skin. This was kind of had all the really nice same properties of the moisturization without being a greasy mess. This one was really nice, but the thing is that this is a deluxe trial size and the full size version of this is like $142. I'm not willing to pay that. But it was really nice. And if I ever do receive this, like in PR or another subscription box, I would definitely I would keep it and use it because it's really great. Do I think I want to go out and purchase it at full price? That's going to be a hell no for me, but it was good. So the moisturizer that I'm currently using, this is from Murad. This is the Hydrodynamic Ultra Ultimate Moisturizer. So this is supposed to be this luxurious multi-benefit cream with advanced hyaluronic acid technology, conditions and smooths the skin for a youthfully smooth texture. So you can use it on in the AM and PM. I just use it in the PM time because it is a little bit like it's a little thicker and it actually takes a while to kind of meld into your skin. Like it leaves a little bit of a white cast on you. So you really have to make sure that you're like really getting it in there for it to soak in. I have used it in the morning. Like I'll use this, then I'll use that BU gel moisturizer in the pink bottle. And I just noticed throughout the day, my face gets a little bit greasier more than normal. So I'm going to reserve this for the PM time. But I think it does a really nice job and you really don't need a whole bunch of it either for it to do its thing. So this will rotate into August as well. And then my last skincare products are the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. Water Powder Serum. That's a mouthful. As you can see, like I don't know if you can, it's hard to tell because it's liquidy. I have used a good chunk of it, but this, man, how this dispenses, you don't get too much out of it, which I don't know if that is supposed to be an intended thing for it, that you only need a few drops, but I'm like squirting it into my hand and like pushing on this thing to get some out. It's nice, but I don't think, like it keeps your skin from looking too oily for a while, but then it kind of loses its properties after the 8, 9, 10 hour mark. So it's a nice product. I'm glad that I tried it, but I don't think it's something that I would repurchase or recommend if you are super duper oily. Um, so yeah, I'm going to continue to use it and see if my opinions change on it as well. But that's my current thoughts about it. And then we have the NYX Blur Screen Primer. So this is a blurring primer sunscreen, kind of a neat little, you know, I don't know, neat little product, I guess, that can mix sunscreen and primer. To be honest, haven't been using this underneath my makeup. I do use this when I am going outside and I don't have any makeup on. If I'm going to be laying out or tanning or just going to be outside for an extended amount of time, I will use this, and I do find it really nice. I have used it under makeup before. I don't really think it disrupts the makeup or anything. I don't know if it necessarily does any blurring properties from the primer, but it is a nice sunscreen. It is pretty affordable. I like having the extra SPF in it, and it smells pretty nice too. I mean, it still smells a little sunscreeny, but it's kind of like a coconut sunscreen, if you will. So I will continue to use this because I do have plans where I will be outside and I will need a sunscreen. I use this and then I like spray 50 on my face as well. So it's not just the 30, but I do need to do a better job of wearing sunscreen more on the regular. I don't, and I know I should, but anyway, so this is going to be rotating into August as well. Okay, so now it's the start of my complexion products. So I had a lot of complexion products this month. So this one was a rollover from June. I really thought I could use it all, and I didn't. And I'm like contemplating if I should continue to try to use it, like it be a goal of mine. I do think I have like 3 foundations already. Okay. I think I'm going to roll this into August as well because I'm really going to try to finish it because I love finishing a foundation. It's just so satisfying. But this is the Revlon Photo Ready Cannon Glow. It is a Moisture Glow foundation. I do have mine in the shade 130. I'm fair with cool to neutral undertones. So this works pretty well for me. It is a pretty lightweight foundation. You're not going to get like super duper coverage. It just says light buildable coverage. I would say maybe a light medium is what you're going to get, but it is really nice. It does kind of add a little bit of glow and radiance without being super dewy or anything like that. With oily skin, I do still use powder on top of this to kind of ensure that it doesn't get too glowy for me, but it is pretty nice, and I did mix it in a lot with my other foundations as well. So speaking of other foundations, I also thought I was going to finish this. This is the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum. So although it's a concealer, I actually use this for foundation. It's a perfect shade match for me in the shade Light. So I actually used these two a lot together, which was really nice. But again, I did need to powder it. This is really nice as a foundation, and I would really recommend it. I am contemplating doing an idea of like travel makeup that I think would be really good for travel, and I have considered putting this in there because it is so teeny tiny as a foundation. So if you're interested in seeing kind of like travel hacks with makeup, let me know down below. It is on my list of things to do, but it will just kind of make me do it faster if you have interest in it. So this one I really like and will be keeping around. This e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. So this is supposed to be a medium buildable coverage, long lasting. I did get my in the shade 13 Fair Neutral, which I do not think is a very good match for me. I think it is still a little bit on the yellow side. I didn't really like this. I didn't really feel like it stayed on. Like, I don't feel like the longevity was there. I felt like it broke up around my chin and my mouth, which, to be fair, I do have. I have dermatitis, so it is kind of flaky there already. But this, compared to the other foundations, this broke up the most. So I know there are foundations that it still kind of like covers up and it's not as flaky, but this one just seemed to flake and just kind of be missing in places. And then the color wasn't super great. So I wasn't thrilled about this. You let me know down your opinions, because I feel like this is kind of a polarizing foundation that it's, half the people really love it, half the people really don't like it. So let me know down below what your thoughts were of this foundation if you've tried it. Another foundation I wasn't super thrilled about, this is the Yensa Super Serum Silk Foundation. What kind of put me off on this is that the shade was not correct. So this is a Fair 3, which I believe is a warm undertone, and as I've said, I'm definitely not a warm undertone, so it just didn't look super great on me. So I did mix it in with, you know, other foundations that did work for me, but I didn't really notice any sort of great properties on it. To be fair, I probably didn't give it a very good test. So I might keep it around to see if I test it a few more times to see if I like it. But this is a deluxe trial size that I picked up in one of my subscription boxes, so I'm not super terrible if I don't keep it around, because I think I paid like $3 for it. So, but it was a nice way to test out this foundation. I just think it was the wrong shade. So that's kind of a bummer. And then one foundation that is just like, it's just so trusty. And I actually didn't get around to using this until the end of the month because I was so focused on trying the other foundations and like finishing the ones that I was almost done with. But this is just like Old Faithful. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I have mine in Mont Blanc or Light 2. I think that's a really great shade match for me. And it just, it is a soft, this is what I wanted this to be. It just, you know, in a least expensive, with a, you know, a lighter price tag, let's just say that. But this is wonderful. It is a soft matte. It is not going to be completely flat matte. It is a matte with more of a natural looking finish to it. So I really did like this and will continue to keep this around. As far as concealers, so one of them I was using was the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, and I have mine in the shade N1. I said this before too, this is actually more of like a foundation shade for me, not a brightening shade, because I like coverage and a little bit of brightening moment underneath my eyes. So this is a really nice formula. My eyes, there is not a concealer that's not going to crease on my eyes just because of how my under eyes are formed. They're just very creasy to begin with. So it doesn't even matter if I powder underneath, it's going to be a little bit creasy. But this is a really nice shade for a foundation, and I would use it as a foundation as well. I would definitely, if I were to repurchase this in the future as a concealer, I'd want to get it in a little bit lighter shade to have that brightening moment. And then kind of the same with this. So this is the Jouer Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer. I got mine in the shade Creme. This was something that I received in PR. These two actually I received in PR. So if you're curious to know, which I have some of the other items that I've received in PR as well. But if you want to see that whole video, I'll link that up in the corner for you. It's basically a way I'm explaining myself as a nano influencer and how I do affiliate links and all that jazz. So if you're curious, I will leave it in the corner. So I did receive this in PR, and when I got to choose my shades, this was the only one that seemed like it could be in the realm of being good for me, because the one below it was practically white. And although I'm very fair, I'm not that fair. I'm not translucent. So the white would have been way too light for me. But this one just seemed a little bit too yellow. Now, the actual product itself was really nice. Like I thought it was on the higher coverage side of things. I did need to powder it because, like I said, you know, I just have creasy eyes, and powder does seem to help, but it's not the end all be all. It was just a little bit too yellow, but I liked the formula of it. And then for powder, did I only have a pressed powder? Apparently I only had a pressed powder. Usually I like to do a pressed powder and a loose powder, but that did not happen. So this is the Jouer Soft Focus Hydrate and Set Powder in Tray Translucent. Now, my favorite pressed powder actually apparently does not exist anymore. I was singing the praises of this powder, but in the Radiant Translucent, which I think was a limited edition, unfortunately, and I panned that and finished it a few months ago. That one was my favorite. I initially thought this was going to be the replacement for it until I realized that this is just not the radiant part of it all. But this was nice. And as you can see, I did have a pretty big pan in it. I used this underneath my eyes. I used it all over my face. It does have, like, again, a kind of a soft mattifying property to it, but it doesn't last all day. So this is something that I feel like you would need to touch up on if you are on the more oilier side of the spectrum of things. But it is a nice, fine powder to use in different areas of your face. As far as blush, bronzers, and highlighters, I did have a few that I was using throughout this month. The first one being the Physicians Formula Super Beauty Insta Ready Universal Filter. So when I purchased this a while ago, I think it was already being discontinued. I don't know if you can even purchase this anymore, but you can see it has like a different layers of different shades to kind of mix them all together. Now, when I originally used this, I used this as like an all over face powder. Don't know what I was thinking, because it is clearly, well, okay, I take that back. It is a bronzer, but it's a light bronzer. So I think this would really work for light to medium to maybe tan skin tones as like a finishing powder. But if you're anything lighter than that, it's a light bronzer on you. I was singing the praises of this. I thought it was great. And then when I used it again, I was like, oh, what was I thinking? So I just don't know if, like, because I've had it for so long and it was already in the process of being discontinued. I mean, I picked it up at Burlington Coat Factory. So like, I feel like that's where makeup goes to die. I think the formula has just kind of changed and it's no longer great, or maybe just my makeup preferences have changed. So this is no longer on top of the world for me anymore, and probably will be decluttered at the end of the year. But it was nice when I had it, and when it was good, it was good. But then it was no longer good. So the next bronzer I was using was the Gucci Eclat Soleil 02 bronzing powder. Now, my mistake with this is that I purchased it in a shade that is a little bit too dark for me. So then that scares me to use it because it's too dark. And I used to say this was kind of patchy, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe my opinions have changed. The way I apply things have changed. This is actually a really nice formula. Still a little deep for me, but it's not like super pigmented right off the bat. So, you can just go in with a light hand and kind of build up the color. I would be interested to see what the color below this is, to swatch it, because when I looked online when I was purchasing it, I was like, that is so light. Like, I don't want to waste my money and not actually have a bronzer. You know what I mean? Like, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So I purchased the shade above it. So I would be interested to see what the other one in person looks like. But this is actually a really nice bronzer. It's super expensive though. It is super expensive, but it looks like I barely touched it. When I went, I kind of went a little ham with it, and it looks like I barely touched it. And beautiful packaging. I mean, it's Gucci. Of course it's going to be beautiful. And then lastly, for bronzers, I was using the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in Bright Side. Now, I was looking at it and I felt like I used a lot of it, but I still have not even turned it up yet. So this is original stick that had like a little bit of dome on it. So this makes me think, and granted, I don't like slap this all over my face. I do like little stripes on my cheeks and like my forehead to bronze it up. And it's pretty emollient too, so it moves around pretty nicely, but then it also stays. Like, it doesn't get patchy emollient, it just like emollient enough that it moves around and then it stays where you put it. So this is actually, like, I feel like you get a lot of product for a little bit amount of money. Like, I like how Rare Beauty, their price range of things are. They're kind of in that mid-range price. They're not like super luxury, but they're also not drugstore. So yeah, I mean, if that tells you anything, I've used this multiple times this year, and even I've used this multiple times since I've gotten it, and I still haven't even pushed it up yet. So I do like this one, and I think it's a really nice color. As far as blush, so the first blush I was using was the Undone Beauty. This is their lip to cheek palette in 330 Berry. It is a nice cream, kind of berry toned blush. I never use this on my lips, but it's such a beautiful flush of color on the cheeks. And again, I just pick it up with a brush and I kind of dab it on. It is not too intense. Like, you can build it up to be intense, but it's not right off the gate intense, which is nice. So I like building that up. Just a beautiful color. And then another blush I was using was the Pixie Beauty Plus Vitamin C Glowy Powder Peachy Dew. This is a nice, really powder that can kind of double as a blush, a highlighter, even a bronzer, if you will. So it's a very multi-purpose blush, I guess. It is really pretty. It's a nice, pretty color, and it does give you like a nice little glow, but not too glowy either. Like I still added glow on top of it as well. And we have the Jouer Blush and Bloom Uplift Cheek and Lip Duo. I never really use cheek products on my lips. Like if I just will use these as blushes, but you can use them for the lips if you so choose. So this is another product I received in PR, and it's a double-ended blush. So we have this side, which is the Amuse Me side, kind of this nice mauve color. And then the other side is Uplift Me, and it's a little bit more of a, I mean, it's like a muted peach nude color. So what I would do is I just put my brush, I didn't put this directly on my face. I would just run my brush over it and put it on my face. And the formula of this is really great. I think both colors are really great. So I would recommend this if you are in the market for like a cream stick blush, not bronzer. Then I forgot one highlighter. Okay, so then we have this highlighter. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter Glow Booster for Radiant Skin. I have mine in the shade 1. This is before they came out with like a shade extension. So I don't, this color I probably could go a little bit lighter in, but this is one of those products that you can use as a primer, mixed into your foundation. I use it as a highlighter, and it's really beautiful. It's a really beautiful highlighter. I don't think I would recommend, like I wish they came out with like a mini size or made this smaller. Like this just seems really, really big, but it is really beautiful. And then the Natasha Denona Golden Highlighter Trio. So this is what it looks like. I do have a swatching video of this and the palette that I will link up in the corner for you. The palette is coming up. But this is a beautiful formula for a highlighter. It's just so unique. It's very thin. Like it's very thin texture, but it provides such a nice glow. Now, because I am very fair, I stuck in the pearl arena for a highlighter, but I did use Sun Glow and Bronze as an eyeshadow. Now I would be careful. I have very oily eyelids, and I did not set my eyelids. So if you have oily eyelids, because this is so thin, like your eyelids are just going to eat it up. The oils are. So I would recommend putting down like a primer, maybe even a base of a powder on there. And then I think it would look really beautiful. But that is how I basically will be using these two shades. And this one is just a beautiful highlighter. Rounding out with eyes. So we were still using the NYX Thick It Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara. I have mine in Espresso, and this is coming to the end of its life. It just doesn't have as much pigment anymore. It's kind of getting a little bit of gunk to it. So I probably will keep it one more month, but I also might put in another like stick eyebrow pencil just to kind of, you know, once this is done, then I'll have something back up. But this is nice. The wand is a little bit too big for me, but it is what it is. It's a nice drugstore alternative to my Kosas Air Brow that I absolutely love, but the wand is a little bit too thick on this for me to be like, it's a 100% dupe. As far as mascara, so originally I had this Queen Musea 2053 mascara in, and I wanted to love this. I wanted to, but I have hooded eyes, and this big wand does not work well with hooded eyes. It just gets everywhere. And the formula is interesting because this really did nothing. It tinted my lashes, but it didn't give me length. It didn't give me volume. It did give me some separation for sure, but like it wasn't what I was looking for at all. So if you are somebody who is blessed with very beautiful lashes and you just kind of want to tint them and maybe a little bit of separation, this would be for you. But if you want anything other than that, I would steer clear of this, which is, I hate saying that, but steer clear of this one. Do not get this one if you want anything other than tinted, separated lashes. So because of that, and usually I will stick out a mascara. Like I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want to waste it. But because it did nothing for me, I opted to start using another mascara that I did not originally include. So this is the Il Makiage Black Card Lift, Curl, and Lengthen Mascara. So this is one of the mascaras that has a little bit of a funky wand. So on one side it's flat, so you kind of deposit the product on your lashes, and then the other side it has the spoolies for you to deposit it throughout the whole lash. I actually really, really like this, and I forget what mascara has this one too. I don't know if it's like the Charlotte Tilbury, whatever mascara that one is. There's something that has this one too. You do have to be careful. I have poked my eye many times with this because it's a little wand, but because you don't use it like a traditional mascara, it's just a little bit funky when you put it on. But it is really beautiful. I think it makes my lashes. I don't know so much about the curl part, but it definitely volumizes them, which I look for volumizing mascaras. A little bit of length is great, but I want them to be volumized. It does really well with volumizing. It does really well with separating. I did notice some kind of flaking sometimes, but it's never like super consistent. So sometimes it'll flake, sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll smudge, sometimes it won't. So it's a little bit finicky in that sense, but I really do like what it does to my lashes. So I'm going to continue using this for August as well. And then we get into the palettes that I was using. So the first one was the Wild Nothing from ColourPop. This was kind of my very neutral, everyday type of look. Really love this palette. I think I said this when I was showing it in my last video, is that you're never going to get like super dramatic looks from this. All of the looks are kind of going to be the same because all the tones are a little bit the same, but it's just a really trusty palette, and you know you're going to get a beautiful look every single time you do it. So I will continue to keep this, and I absolutely love the packaging of it. So then we have the Natasha Denona Golden palette. So this was my palette that it kind of like transformed from, I could wear this every day, but I could also jazz this one up. The formula is great. The colors, don't get me wrong, the colors are great too. There are some colors that are just very similar, which I've already put it in the corner for you to watch, but you'll see them all swatched out. Formulas are top notch though. Absolutely love Natasha Denona. And then this was my fun, funky palette that I wanted to use for Pop of Colors. This is the Cosmic Brushes Serenity palette. And I wish I could say that I used this palette more this month, but I did not. It's such a beautiful palette. I really, really love it. And I just wish I gave myself more time and creativity in the morning to use this, but I don't. I did use this shade Opal like all over my eyes. Sorry, I hit the mic. All over my eyes one day for work, and it was really beautiful. And I used a ColourPop multi-chrome lighter. It was so pretty. I did wear that, but I didn't get around to this palette as much as I wish I could have or should have dedicated some time to, but it's still really beautiful, and the formula is really great. All right, so that is everything. That is all my like speed beauty reviews for July. Now let's go pick out August items. All right, so we've already talked about the skincare products that are going to be transferring over into August. So let's just dive into complexion. So if you haven't seen my recent video, it will be at the end of this video to click on, but I'll also leave it in the corner for you. I basically reorganized my makeup organization because I couldn't remember what products that I used in previous months for Shop My Stash. And so I reorganized it so it was much easier for me to find those products. And let me tell you, this was the first time that I got to pick it, and it was a breeze. So I'm super glad that I did that. It was a fun video to film. So check it out if you can. So I knew what products that I hadn't used for the month. So I am going to be using the Lancome Tintadol Ultra Wear Care and Glow Foundation. I have mine in the shade 110C. And then I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation. I have mine in the shade 1C Cool Vanilla. And then we already talked about this Revlon one. I'm going to see if I can try to finish it up. Fingers crossed. And then I actually just picked this up from Ulta. I'm going to be doing a haul as well, so you're going to get a preview of some of the items that I picked up, but there's other items as well, so make sure to check that out when I post it. But I did get this Bobbi Brown Weightless Skin Foundation. So this just came out. I haven't heard anybody talk about it except one person who actually works for Bobbi Brown, and she did a video of it. And so I was convinced because she absolutely loved it, and so I was like, I think I'm really going to love it. So I did get mine in the shade Porcelain N012. I haven't even shade matched this yet, so hopefully this works for me. If it doesn't, I probably will go return it for a different shade. I don't know. We're just throwing this in as a wild card. So who knows if I will actually keep this, if I like it or not. So that's why I have my other foundations as well to keep me occupied if this one doesn't work. This is supposed to be a seamless, medium buildable coverage with staying power for a semi-matte blurred finish. No touch-ups needed. Absolutely love that. So I'm excited about this. Have you heard any word about this? Because I had found it on the Ulta app, and it said it was like an app exclusive or something, that it was just coming out, but I don't think it's coming out in other retailers until maybe later. I don't really know. I haven't heard anything about it, but we'll see. As far as concealers, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer in Royal Icing, or 1.1N. In that organization video, I was like, how have I not used this year? Because I really like this concealer. How have I not used it? And then we are going to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Concealer in 3.75. So excited to see what looks I can come up with those foundations concealer combos. As far as powder, I'm going to use the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten. This is technically a color correcting foundation, but it's in porcelain, which is too light for me for an all over foundation, but this is a really nice brightening moment for underneath the eyes. So we're going to test that one for underneath the eyes, which I guess both of these are for underneath the eyes as well. But another thing that I picked up at recommendation of Teresa is Dead. I blame her for this. I will link her channel down below. She is raving about these, and I couldn't decide what color I wanted, so I got both. I got the pink color, and this is the creaseless setting powder. I got pink and lavender. So let's see what they look like. Ooh, the packaging is really pretty with like this iridescent look. We got a little poof that's very cute, and then we have the powder, the little sifter in it. So let's hope that these work for me. Like, I guess I'm playing a little dangerous game of adding in some products to my Shop My Stash that I haven't even tested myself. So I guess we're just a little crazy doing that. But it says it sets makeup while brightening for a soft, focused finish, helps diffuse and neutralize while blurring the look of pores and fine lines, includes a mess-free sifter and mini angled detailing brush. Puff, not brush. All right, so here is the purple one, or lavender one. Very pretty. So we shall see. We'll see what happens. All right, now talking about bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. So I did talk about in that previous video how I have not used my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is the Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer in Fair. And I said how it's kind of a darker color, so I needed to use it in the summertime. So this is the perfect time to use it. So hopefully I will hit some pan on it. We were very close to it. This is a very interesting kind of texture. It's a very cream to powder type of texture. Haven't used it in a while, so we will see if I still like it, if it's still, the formula is still good. And then I also talked about how I hadn't used this one either, and that I probably should use it because it's more of a glowier type of bronzer, something that I feel like would be more natural for the summertime. So this is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It in the shade Light. As far as blush, the Melt Honey Thief Cream Blush Light. That's what that looks like. It's kind of a mess. I do need to like clean the top of it because I see like dust and particles in there, and I don't want that to go on my face. And then we're going to use the Milani Romantic Rose Rose Powder Blush, kind of a very neutral type of blush moment. So we have that. And why I picked out so many is because I realized how many products I hadn't gone through in that video, and that I need to up my game a little bit to make sure that I'm using more products throughout the year. So this is the e.l.f. Sorry, I got distracted. I got a text message. This is the e.l.f. Always Cheeky Blush. I think this is like the primer. I don't know. They didn't really say. It just says Always Cheeky. So it's kind of a nice like peachy blush. And then for Pat McGrath Labs, this is their Fabulous Flirtatious and Sexqueak Seductions. Oh, that has nothing to do with it. Skin Fetish Divine Blush in Flirtatious. So that is what it looks like. So again, kind of more on the neutral side of blushes. And then as far as highlighters, two other things that you'll see in my upcoming haul. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear highlighter. I did get mine in the Champagne Glow, which actually I believe is the darker shade of the two, but the other one looked super icy, and I didn't want a super icy one. I wanted more of a champagne one. So I have swatched this already, and it is a little dark, so we just have to go in with a little bit of caution with it, but it is very pretty and buttery and gorgeous. And then the other one I got was the Iconic London Lit and Luminous Baked Highlighter in the shade Universal. And this is what it looks like. Very, very pretty. Again, I have swatched this already, and it is very gorgeous. Now on to palettes. So before palettes, again, we will use the NYX Thick It Stick It until it's gone. And then I think I'm going to put in the, I forgot to grab it, but the Give Beauty little eyebrow thing. It'll be linked. All of this will be linked down below. They are going to be affiliated links, so if you choose to shop through them, I really appreciate it. I earn a very small commission when you do, and it just helps this channel out, helps me out, and I do appreciate it. And then I'm going to use the Au Maquillage mascara. Now for palettes. I kind of like stuck in the same range. Usually I try to mix them up just a little bit, but I was like, I don't know, I was just feeling these color schemes. So the only one that is kind of on the more cool tone is the ColourPop That's Taupe palette. So it is on the cooler leaning side of things, but I love these. I love this palette, like the coconut palette too. Really beautiful, great formulas. Great colors. So this is more of my cool leaning one if I'm feeling it those days. And then I have the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. So this is the Gemini 1, the original. So we kind of go into more of the warmer tones with the pops of green in there. Very pretty. Now I am concerned because my Mary Jane palette from previous month that I used, the shimmer was just shot. Like the whatever substance keeps the shimmer together like didn't exist anymore. So I'm kind of trying to go through my melt palettes to see if that's going to be happening to a lot of them, because if that's the case, then I have a feeling I'm going to be decluttering a lot of melt palettes in the future. Then we have the Sigma Ambiance palette. So this is more of their warm tone, kind of red leaning browns. A little bit difficult to see with the gold packaging, but really pretty. I like Sigma quality. I think they have really nice quality. Is it my favorite? No, but it is really nice, and their color stories are really pretty. And then lastly, I did do a video swatching the neutrals and the cool from Cosmic Brushes, so I will leave that in the corner or down below wherever it fits. And so I wanted to use one of these for the month. As you can see, we are leaning very warm tone with all of these palettes, but this is really pretty because it's kind of like a different type of warm tone or neutral. We do have a little bit of a problem with the black, which I need to clean up, but these swatched out really beautifully as well. And if you're curious, definitely check out that video. But that is everything that I'm choosing for the month of August. Let me know down below, what products are you using this month? What are you kind of leaning more towards? As you can see, mine is more of a warm tone type of look for eyeshadow, more medium buildable foundations, more neutral leaning face products and stuff like that. So I'm curious to know what you are using for the month. And with that, make sure you like this video, comment down below, and do all the YouTube engagement things. We are growing on this channel very organically. I'd love to see that follower count grow even more. I do have high hopes of reaching 1,000 by the end of the year. We'll see. I'd love for you to be a part of it though. So with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye.